Let's cross live now and speak to Rina Shah, who is a political strategist and former senior advisor to Republican Congress and who joins us from Washington. Rina, always good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us here on BBC News. And, well, what do you make of all this?
Well, this indictment is being called the coup indictment because it is centered entirely on those actions that the former president took on January 6th and perhaps even in the days leading up to it. There's 45 pages of this indictment to dig into. And in it, I didn't see very much that we learned that was new. And in fact, my take on essentially is that Jack Smith, the special counsel at the Department of Justice, created these broad brush charges so that he could get this past a judge and onto a jury. And so that's where we sit right now. We know that the judge that is going to oversee this is an Obama appointed judge. In the second indictment in Florida, which regarded the handling of classified documents, harboring those, that was a Trump appointed judge. So you can expect that many a Republican on Capitol Hill will be up in arms about how Donald Trump is not going to get a fair shake in the courts because of who this judge is on this indictment.
Where does this leave the Republican Party politically? Because there will be Republicans out there who don't want to see Trump in the presidential running next year. What is the way out for them then in this sense?
Well, the chorus of Republicans who say that this is a case in which the Department of Justice is being weaponized, that this indictment reeks of political motivation, that chorus actually is growing. And I believe we'll see a temporary boost of support in the polls amongst Republicans, of course, for President Trump. Now, is that going to be a sustained boost? I don't think so. I think there's a lot more that needs to happen for Donald Trump to grab the hearts and minds long term of those Republicans who've been lukewarm about him. Now, make no mistake, there are still more Republicans on Capitol Hill, again, those elected at the highest level of office here in these United States, that support the former president, that say that he is being unfairly targeted, that are the people who are sometimes speaking out of one side of their mouth, saying that they would like to see one of these candidates in the field do well. Let's not forget who's in the field against Donald Trump right now. People like Senator Tim Scott, people who served in his cabinet, like former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley. And of course, there is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who was going to be the one who many had thought by now could have toppled Trump out of his standing as the forerunner for the nomination. But I don't think this third indictment changes very much for Donald Trump in the long run. And that is for General Election Day 2024. He still faces a very tough road in order to be able to win that over.
And speedy trial is what is being looked for here. Will a speedy trial make any difference at all, do you think? I mean, a lot of people watching this from around the world will be thinking, how is it that criminal charges like this can be put towards someone and yet their support seems to increase, solidify?
Well, let's not forget who this Republican Party is these days. This is about a cult of personality, a phrase I cannot use more, heavily. I think this is what has been said in this era, that people really go for the man. They talk about him having a powerful personality. They talk about him even being fun. Now, look, these are his most fervent supporters, the people who have his back, it seems, at every turn, who forget all his misgivings and forget the fact that also his administration didn't handle the COVID pandemic well. There are a lot of people who say that it was COVID that denied Trump a second term in the White House, not so much Joe Biden. So we sit in this very unique moment in time where Trump is banking on two things. Number one, he knows that the wheels of justice are slow in these United States. They take time to turn. And as we can see that right here with this indictment, this is for actions that happened over 2 years ago. Another thing that Trump is counting on also and really relying on is that he's innocent until proven guilty. So these indictments, though they look very accusatory, these are not guilty charges. He has not been found guilty in a court of law on this third indictment. And if he were to, he's still not been sentenced. The powerful in this country do tend to evade jail time. And I don't think that Donald Trump will serve any jail time, even if he is found guilty.
Okay, Rina Shah, as always, great to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Thousands of